2 nights ago on Orthodox Easter, the President of the United States attacked the Pope. He called him weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. He said he is not a fan. And then less than an hour later, he posted an AI-generated image of himself dressed in white robes, laying his hands on a sick man, surrounded by nurses and soldiers and praying women, as if he were healing them, as if he were Jesus Christ. I am a proud Christian. I have built my life on my faith. And I am telling you what I saw in that image. It is more than blasphemy. It is an antichrist spirit, and I completely denounce it. I am praying against it. Let me walk you through what happened, because the sequence matters. Earlier that Sunday, CBS aired a 60-minute segment in which 3 American cardinals publicly supported the Pope's criticism of the war in Iran. They stood with him. They echoed his call for peace, and the president saw it. By Sunday night, the president posted a 334.
Yesterday, you know who finally deleted that social media post appearing to show him as Jesus? Maybe he took it down because the MAGA supporters and Christian conservatives lost their minds over it. Now, the White House is offering some different.
The funny thing about this, Donald Trump, the funny thing about all of you Americans is that you guys know who this man is. You guys know Donald Trump in and out. The first time Donald Trump came down that golden escalator, he spent 10 minutes insulting Mexicans. He insulted Obama. He kept on saying that Obama was not born in America, meaning Obama was not supposed to be president. That was, imagine somebody is stepping his foot into politics. Donald Trump was not in politics. That was his first time saying that I'm going to run for president. And that was the message that he was bringing to you Americans. And let us not forget, let us not pretend to forget that Donald Trump said that he's so popular that he could stand in Times Square and shoot somebody and nothing will happen. And you guys clapped. Yay! USA, USA, USA. We are Americans. We are Americans. You guys were feeding the beast. Now you guys are trying to tame the beast that you fed. You guys were fattening the beast. You guys were making the beast to go wild and wild. While the beast is getting wild every day, you guys are taming the beast. You guys are encouraging the beast. You guys are singing praises. Why wouldn't he put himself like Jesus Christ? Didn't we all see his spiritual guru, or whatever her name is, Paula White, compared Donald Trump to Jesus? And did you guys see the expression on Donald Trump's face when she said that? It's before Easter, few days back. And when people are like surprised, you should not be surprised. We all know this. We all know that this man, I love it because Donald Trump doesn't change who he is. Donald Trump can never change who he is. You guys voted for Donald Trump. You guys did not vote for any president in the White House. You guys don't have a president. You guys just have Donald Trump being Donald Trump. Donald Trump is actually the one who is being himself. You will see people like Marco Rubio. You will see people who knew this man. People who knew this man, who spoke against this man, who called him America's Hitler. You see them today saying that, oh, I said those things, that was then, now I've changed my mind. Look, because they're trying to come after him, and the reason is because they're coming after him. I've changed my mind. A madman is a madman. When somebody say I'm mad, I'm stupid, he is the one telling you guys who he is. You cannot change what he is saying. Donald Trump told us who he is. Donald Trump said, I like to grab women by the Pussy. Donald Trump said, I like to just kiss women. I cannot control myself. Donald Trump said, I don't drink alcohol. But when I'm next to beautiful girls, I'm like, it's like that is my own alcohol. He is saying who he is. Donald Trump said, I don't have faith. During the inauguration for his second term, he did not place his hand on the Bible to swear because Donald Trump knew that he is going all in this time around. He is burning everything down. And that is why he himself said, I know I'm not going to heaven, so I don't care what I do. When somebody says that, I know I'm not going to heaven at that age, people should have been like looking up like, what? We have to make sure we watch this man's actions. If he knows that he's not going to heaven, what has he done or what is he going to do? And you guys are here trying to, you are surprised? A man who has been married 4 times, 3 times he cheated on his wives, cheated on his wife when she was pregnant. And you guys are surprised? Or you guys are just dumb? The only bad thing is, it's not only affecting you Americans. You guys brought this to us. And now all of us are going to suffer because of your stupidity. Because you guys know, you guys have heard this man. The first time in office, we all saw what he did. On the last day of his first term in office, he sent a mob to come and beat up police officers. And you guys had the guts to still vote him. The same place he was destroying, you guys still voted him and he was sworn in that same place. It is said, I'll keep saying this. By the way, I see some of you guys watching my videos, but some of you guys don't want to subscribe. That is fine. One day you will change your mind. If you have watched for 5 seconds, thank you, by the way. By the way, this war that is happening now, how is this war going to benefit you or me? This war is instead drying up our savings. Pumping gas into your car, you are panicking. You are seeing how the meter is going up, but the tank is not getting full. But the numbers are flying, what you're going to pay, but the tank is not getting full. Very soon it's going to be food. We've been complaining about food. That before we used to go shopping and with 50 pounds in the UK, we feel like 2 trolleys. Now 50 pounds, you have 2 tiny bags. In 2 months' time, it's going to be crazy. And guess what? In 2 months' time, it's going to be summer holidays, when we all will be thinking like we need to go somewhere and relax with the family. Flights are going to be, the prices are going to be crazy. And it is all because of a man who is on his way out, who knows he has no chance to go to heaven, said by him from his own mouth. I'm starting to think like some of you Americans, your brains are not functioning. Because somebody says something from his own mouth, and you guys do all types of mental gymnastics to convince yourself that what is said is not what is said, and to convince us that what we heard is not what we heard, or what our eyes are seeing is not what our eyes saw. You Americans. And now you guys are here crying that Donald Trump said this, said that. Donald Trump said this, said that. Marjorie, you know this guy. You were with him. His first time in office, during the campaign, you were with this guy. You spoke to him. You listened to him. You know him. Why are you surprised? You defended him. There are vile things that he said, and you also pushed them. But because Jesus finally touched you. Jesus touched your soul. And Jesus reminded you that compassion. Have some sympathy. Feel for those who are oppressed. Be the peacemaker. Happy are the peacemakers, for they shall see heaven. Be humble. Love one another. Open your home to the homeless. I'm not talking about these homeless who are supposed to go to work. I'm not talking about these ones. Like the other day, Sunday, after mass, we had this guy. He had £2 and he's asking for another £2. And stood by the side of the church was maybe his girlfriend, and she was already drinking one of the hard liquor. Why would you give somebody money like that? You know they are going to go and buy alcohol. But you guys are here now crying, pretending as if you guys did not know who this man was.
Orthodox Easter, the
Where was I there? That was where I was.
Civilization 1 week ago now presents himself as the one who heals, a man who attacked the Pope on the holiest night of the Orthodox calendar.
You are attacking the Pope. The Pope is just saying, happy are the peacemakers. The Pope is just preaching the word of God. The Pope is just there trying to do what Jesus Christ did. Speak on behalf of those who have no voice. And you are attacking the Pope, a man who has no faith.
Now wraps himself in the image of the Christ that the Pope serves. That is not faith. That is the opposite of faith. The Pope responded yesterday. He was on a plane to Algeria beginning an 11-day trip across Africa. Reporters asked him about the president's attack, and his answer was everything the president's post was not. Calm, clear, dignified. He said, I have no...
From what I can see is Donald Trump clearly, when you are old and you know that you did a lot of bad stuff, you become angry. I say this a lot of times, even to myself. I always think like, I don't want to get to a certain age and be angry, because when you get to a certain age and you start to think of the things that you've done, it's almost like you regret, because you know that maybe it's too late. And the more you're angry, the more you do bad things, the more you take bad decisions. We all have grown up next to an old man who is always angry. Always angry. That is Donald J. Trump. But the worst thing with Donald J. Trump is he's the most powerful person on this planet, because he is the president of the United States of America, has the strongest military, the richest country on this planet. That is the sad part. And we can all see that we are suffering because of this. I hate to see some of these people now coming out saying, oh, I miss 2016. I miss Joe Biden. You guys said he was old and slow. You guys said because of Joe Biden, America was weak. You guys wanted somebody who was strong, somebody who is mad. Somebody who is mad. And it's so laughable when you see some of these people coming out and saying Donald Trump was chosen by Jesus. Really? He was chosen by... How do you know he was chosen by Jesus? How do you know? Jesus Christ doesn't choose anybody to do anything. We have the free will to do good or to do evil. God gave us the free will. The power is given to you on earth. How you use that power is all on your own. And on the last day, we will all be accountable to our actions. So when all these fake pastors come and sit and say, Jesus Christ chose Donald Trump, Jesus Christ, upon all the people on this planet, Jesus Christ chose Donald Trump. And now that's why Donald Trump puts himself like Jesus. What are these pastors going to say? No, he was only just joking. So you have a God that you believe in. You have a God that you say the Almighty. And then you say somebody was just joking to make himself to be Jesus Christ? Make that make sense. He was just joking. If that was not Donald Trump, will these pastors not have condemned if any other person apart from Donald Trump did that. Make himself into Jesus. And then he says the Democrats are the one trying to, the fake news. You posted it. And the very time you're saying that is the fake news trying to push this, you are saying you are somebody who make people better. And what is there on that meme? Is you trying to make somebody better. So you're still saying that you are like Jesus. Because nobody has the supernatural power to put his hand on somebody's head who is sick and he will make them better. There's nobody, even the Pope. You can receive the blessing and you have to go to the hospital. The Pope is not going to put his hand on my head if I'm sick or if I have a headache and the headache will disappear. No. The Pope can give me the blessings, but I need to go to the hospital. The blessing we have is that God has given us the intellect, the brains to try and help ourselves. And it is upon us to use it for good, or we can decide to use it for evil. Because there are only two things. There is good and there is evil. Whichever one you choose is all upon you. You choose either you are doing bad. When people go and steal, you think they don't know it's bad? They know. When you are sitting there in your house on your laptop scamming people, you know it's bad. But you've chosen it. You guys are mad. Anyway, let me go watch my football. I'll see you guys on the next video, on the next rant. Let's just keep watching and see what's going to happen. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm going to watch this after. Peace, guys.